So the channel's been a little bit messy over the last couple of weeks, and I figured I'd give you guys a quick explanation of what's been going on and where I'm going, and one last message for all of you. See you after the intro. Okay, so before I get into it, I'm Pete McConville. This is my channel. I talk here about watches. I haven't been talking at all for the last 6 weeks, really. And today I'm not going to be talking about watches at all either. So if just me talking about me in the channel is likely to bore you senseless, bail now and go. If on the other hand, you've been around the channel for a little while, wondering why things have been a bit quiet, I figured now I'd give you the explanation. So in 25 words or less, I've been unwell, and that's been both distracting, and for the last 2 weeks, it means I've kind of been out of action. Slightly longer than that. Around about 6 weeks ago, I was going through a standard everyday medical. There was nothing wrong with me. I wasn't failing tests or anything like that. Just, I'm 50 something and of an age where you have regular medicals. I was a little bit overweight. My cholesterol was a bit high. The doctor wanted me to go off and see a cardiologist. Frankly, I was a bit annoyed at that. I didn't want to. There was nothing wrong with me. I felt fine. And for the first couple of weeks, going to see a cardiologist and rolling through the questionnaires and the standard ECGs and even then an echocardiogram, just nailed it. There was nothing wrong. I was doing great. This was all going to be over really quickly. But then I did a stress test and everything changed. The whole tone of the conversation between me and the cardiologist got very serious, and that's pretty much when I got a little bit distracted and stopped putting any uploads up. When a cardiologist starts telling you that he thinks there's a good chance there's something serious wrong with your heart, it was tricky working up the energy to come up with a script and then record and then edit and then publish a watch video. So that's essentially why for the last 4 weeks, I haven't really put anything up. Why did things go serious? Well, as I said, I did a stress test, did fine on that actually, punched out a fair amount of work. There was no problems, except just as I hit failure point, and the test is designed to take you to fail, my ECG started doing something strange, and the doctor got a bit concerned, sent me off for an angiogram, and that's supposed to be a 1 day in, get your thing done. They put some dye in your blood, look at you under an x-ray. It's a 1 day procedure. Get home, get back to work the next day. Unfortunately, my doctor during that procedure found 5 blockages in 2 arteries, the worst of which was a 95% blockage of my left anterior descending artery, which he and the nurses cheerfully referred to as the widowmaker. I didn't go home from that 1 day procedure. I ended up spending 8 days in a coronary care ward. Most of the time they were preparing for a bypass. Only at the very last minute did the team get together and consider that I was actually a better candidate for stents. Last Sunday, I had 3 stents put into my left anterior descending artery. So the thing that was likely to kill me any moment has been fixed. I have to go back in another week for another 2 stents in my right artery, after which I should be done. I get back on the train and just start working again. But things have been a little in the air over the last couple of weeks, and that's why I haven't been putting any content out. Now, I did flag this via Instagram, so some of you have seen that. I put something on my community tab as well, just so that people had an idea of what was going on. And at this point, I would like to say a massive thank you to everyone that reached out, either directly, DMs, or just left comments. It was wonderful to get all that positivity back in return. And as I say, thank you so much for everyone who got in contact with me, however you did that. Okay, so where's the channel going moving forward? Okay, more than anything, something else has happened during this time, as well as just the heart stuff. I'm posted. I've made no secret of the fact I'm in the Royal Australian Air Force. That means I get postings every now and then. I'm posted at the end of this year. I'm staying in the same location, just moving to a new job. But the Air Force has made it very clear this is my last job. I am now officially on finals, getting ready for retirement. Thinking about what I want to do in the future, I want to do more of this. I want to make this more. I want to make this my retirement quasi job. And so I plan on coming up with a plan to build this, to take it somewhere, to make it more than just what it is. What does that mean? I don't know. I have to do some hard thinking about that. I've got a couple of years. It's not something I have to figure out in the next couple of months. Interested in feedback from you guys. If there's things that you particularly do or don't want, yeah, I'm always open to suggestions. One thing I should say is I'm not going to do anything I don't want to do. Largely, I cover the sorts of topics I like covering. I have the conversations I like to have anyway. So the core of what I do isn't going to change. Really, I'm thinking more about the execution and how it's packaged up and sold. But the actual what I do, the topics I talk about, not going to change at all. For those of you who have somehow stumbled on this video and don't know what I'm talking about when I say what I talk about, I talk about watches from a slightly more esoteric, slightly more what would you say, kind of thoughtful approach. I tend to think about the psychology and the philosophy and all of that sort of stuff. I don't do a lot of affordables. I don't do any knockoff or homage watches. I don't tend not to do the super high end. That's a little bit out of my swim lane. I do the solid middle of the sort of watch community. Yeah, so that's really what I've been doing and what I plan to do next. And then I cannot stress this enough. Well, really, there's two things I want to stress. One, thank you again to everyone who reached out and was so positive and so warm. That was just fantastic to be on the end of. The second thing I want to stress to all of you, okay, because I know I have an overwhelmingly male, and the stats tell me skewing older audience. And a little message I'd like to pass on. I went into this with no symptoms. I went into this passing military fitness tests. I went into this without any concern that there was anything wrong with my heart. 2 weeks before I ended up, finding out that I have something that could kill me at any second, I was doing max balls to the wall, full effort, zone 5, go till you collapse, max heart rate interval workouts. Any one of those could have been terminal for me. My point is, if you're like me, getting a bit older, if you've got some kind of history of cholesterol or cardiac issues in the family, don't wait till you're like the people that were around me in the cardiac ward. That is, have your first heart attack and turn up at hospital in an ambulance. Get yourself checked out, go make sure everything's clean, and then go on and live your life. But don't just assume that the only people that have heart issues are the obvious and that you will get a lot of warning. Because my experience is you might not get anywhere near the warning you think. Anyway, I've been Pete McConville. This has been my channel talking not about watches at all. I promise that tomorrow there will be a video out about watches. Probably going to talk about this Rolex certified pre-owned thing. I think everyone else has, and pretty much everyone else has got it wrong. Watch the video and you'll see why. Okay, thanks very much for everyone. I'll see you later. Bye.